Right, welcome everybody to another episode of Chris and Dave's Reality Cast. I'm one of your hosts, Chris Phelps, and my co-host and very good friend is Mr. Dave Horrocks.
Hi there, Chris, and hello to our listeners out there. Welcome to Chris and Dave's Reality TV Cast. We are covering Love Island UK Series 8, Episode 29. Now, Chris, there is so much to discuss. Where would you like to start?
Well, I think this is going to be a minefield, Dave, because I think we're either going to be agreeing, disagreeing. There's all sorts of takes. There's some things that I'm slightly backtracking on. I've said about some of the Islanders, or Highlanders, or Islanders, Dave, as I keep saying. I think more than anything, is like the guys are just seeing it as a free-for-all, which I'm really shocked. Bar Luca, which I'm sure we'll talk about, but like Davide, Andrew, you know, of all, Idami, they've all put the lips on a girl tonight's episode, Dave, which I'm quite not shocked by, but it's sort of like Andrew has been egged on completely by Jax and Luca saying, you know, Jax even said to him, "You've been fucking taken for a mug, pal. You know, open your eyes." And I'm thinking, wow.
Quite aggressive, that, wasn't it?
Yeah, I didn't like that tone at all. And Andrew's like laughing it off, but I'm like, this is the sort of stuff that we've heard about Jax, but we haven't seen. And I'm like, what is your fucking problem? Because he's not being a saint with Paige. He's already he's put a few feelers out tonight as if he's interested in exploring something else.
Yeah, I think, so let's start with Andrew then, out of those three that you just mentioned. So we've said for a while now, Andrew and Tasha are not right for each other. But they, you know, and that's more to do with the fact that looking at Tasha's actions, she's clearly not, you know, she's not fully in. And Andrew is. Now, if they both were not fully in, I think that would be okay. But the thing is, I think someone posted earlier, Andrew is Simon from the In-Betweeners. You know, he's all in. So when you've got that massive imbalance, it's not going to work. And what's kind of happened, you can see that like Luca and Jax have been prodding away at him, you know, for a while now about Tasha. And then there was a whole situation where, you know, Luca's got a fucking face on him because, you know, when Andrew's giving his speech, and that caused Tasha to get upset and what have you. But you can see it's probably happening more and more. And I thought that comment from Jax was more like a frustrated, I fucking told you this so many times, and you're just not listening, you know. And I thought when they showed that, I thought, yeah, I do think Andrew's going to go for something else, but that's not actually what's in his heart. He doesn't want to, but he just feels like he has to. And the fact that he ended up going after Coco, I think it just spoke to me that he was just going after her because she was there and she'd showed some interest. She was quite flirty, she was quite open, and she was gettable. I think if he does end up walking in with Coco, I think he's going to regret it very quickly.
Yeah, I'm exactly the same. I don't think she's in this for the whole getting into the villa situation. But it doesn't. Look, David, what's interesting is at this present moment in time, none of the girls have swayed. We do see a VT with Tasha kissing one of the guys. I think it's that Billy, who I think is a bit of a mistake. But the guys have all done the snaky moves tonight. And I saw online, like, Andrew, a lot of people saying, well, you know, Tasha deserves what she's thinking. I'm going to defend her slightly. She's not kissed anyone, Dave, at this point.
Yeah.
At this present point in time, whatever we've said about her is I know it's an immaturity thing, and you're right, and I've gone in on her at times. I think Andrew's the one in the wrong at this moment, without a doubt. And if she does get with someone, this Billy, and they explore something, then it's exactly what you just said. They weren't right for each other, but it was more of a convenience thing. She kept running back to him. She was doing the whole love thing and that the other day, whereas a few days earlier it was Charlie. But she hasn't actually cheated on him or anything. So Andrew's the one who's in the wrong tonight. And then I think the lads, and you're right, I think that's a great analysis of it all. The guys have just egged him on. There's been some off-screen chat about how he's being played that we've not seen So all this doesn't add up because we've not seen it, but we know as the viewers that it's the right decision, but it's the wrong way he's going about it completely because he's not got a leg to stand on at this present moment in time. If Tasha sees him kissing a girl, and maybe that's why she kisses Billy, because they do send them snidey little videos over with the thing. That's the whole point, isn't it? So maybe that's why her reaction is we don't know until we watch it tomorrow, but I'm all here for it, Dave. Fucking brilliant.
Yeah, I don't know. I just want the outcome which causes the maximum drama as always, Chris. And I think what that would be would probably be, Tasha could have a little kiss and whatever, but she'll be stood there on her own. Andrew will walk in with Coco or someone, and Tasha will suddenly forget all of the doubts in the past and think, oh, fuck, I was the perfect partner and Andrew, you bastard, and cause some drama that way. So, no, I just think, it wasn't a great episode for the boys. Great episode for me watching, like I say, because I'm driven by the drama. But yeah, Andrew was one thing, but you could absolutely see why he was doing it. Chris, I don't really understand Dami and where he was coming from. I thought him and India were the most rock solid couple. And he's come out with this thing that we saw a lot last season as well, which is, we have to be tested. And it's almost like an excuse then. It's like, well, we have to have a test. How can we know if we're going to be a real couple if we haven't had a test? Let me go and snog someone's face off. So I just don't really understand it.
No, and I agree with you. And I think it didn't make any sense. And it sort of, I felt like we've been played slightly. And I think India's been played because he's literally saw the nice new shiny sweet shop and gone, oh, I can have a bit of this, a bit of that. And there is a connection there with the good talking to. And I'm not saying that, but India has been talking to DJ, who I think is a really good guy actually. I think he's proper smooth. He's got the chart. He's very respectful of her relationship with Dami, which if he only knew what was going on, he probably wouldn't be. He showed her that there's an interest. They're having good chat. There seems like there's a connection between them. But everything Dami did tonight, and I do think the comments he said to Luca is stuff that he's had bottled up, and I agree with them, but I also think he was being a bit of a shit and deflecting the whole thing. Luca deserved that sort of come to Jesus moment, telling him like you're smothering her, you're basically holding a hostage with his words, which is very strong. You're fake. I know.
Brilliant.
I'm not saying I did, to be fair. I'm not saying that he's not wrong because it's exactly what we've all said about him. I know these people support Luca and all that, and he is being loyal, but he was doing the Jake thing. They were all laughing and joking. It wasn't as bad as Jake, but he is there. So I think Dami was sort of right, but he was like, no, Dami, this doesn't get you off the hook, mate. You have absolutely realised you fucked up. You've snogged someone else. You need to basically face the consequences. That's it. You can't palm it off on Luke. Whatever Luke is trying to do, he wasn't the one who kissed the other girl. So I think what he said was right, but it wasn't the right time to bring any of that up, Dave. That was just him trying to deflect it.
See, I think this is the first time this morning when we're going to deviate a little bit. So I didn't see it that way. I was disappointed with Dami and that he's kissed, can't remember what her name is, but he's done that. And then they're having this boys chat, which fucking hell, Chris, was ridiculous, wasn't it? It was like all the girls go away, right? Oh, lads, and then when we find out about Andrew kissing Coco, it's like, it's like, oh, you bunch of dicks. Calm it down a little bit. But Luca, it does my head in, I have to say, because. Again, I think I've known people like him in my life where, they'll dish it out but can't take it at all. And I think the reality was Luca was egging on Dami to sleep in a bed with the girl he'd coupled up with the girl he'd kissed. And Dami was like, no, that's different. It's more intimate. Instead of fucking just dropping it there, Luca's then pushing it further. It's like, well, if you've done that, you might as well, go further. And so it was it was at that bit. It's like, no, respect the fact that Dami has said that is the line, and I'm not crossing that line. And Luca wouldn't fucking let it go. And I think from that point, everything that Dami said, I thought was absolutely spot on. And I was just like, I was Team Dami in that conversation because I thought Luca was just being a fucking dick. It's like, keep your fucking nose out of it. It's nothing to do with you. Dami said, this is what I'm prepared to do. This is what I'm not prepared to do. Drop it.
Interesting, Dave. Interesting. I think, as I say, I'll stick to that. I do think Luca needed that fucking telling off sort of thing, but I think Dami was being a bit of a shithouse and sort of deflecting it all. But at the end of the day, it's Love Island. The drama's great. We won't be talking about it if it wasn't. This has been an excellent season.
It's been so good.
and the girl's called Summer, by the way, Dave, because I've just had to have a look. I feel bad that we don't know her name, so I apologise. But one of the other girls, Dave, we talk about the Danica actual edit. Fuck me, we've not seen Jasmine at all. The Geordie girl. I don't think I've seen her have a conversation on camera, so she's definitely not going to be staying in the villa. I don't think I've seen anybody really put it on her or chat to her, as far as we can see.
Yeah, I think it's the Casa Amor style edit, isn't it? It's like, here are 6 bombshells, but you're only going to see 3 of them.
Yes,
or at least, 1 or 2. You just never see anything of at all. But I think you always get a few of those. What would you say about Danica? So she finally got a bit of action there.
Yeah, she kissed Josh. Pretty sweet. What was funny was I saw it on Discord. I think it was Hannah had said on Discord. It was like she doesn't realise when someone's going to kiss her. She gets that surprise thing, doesn't she? When Davide put it on, it's like, oh. And then when Josh did the same, to me, and me and Sam were talking about when we were watching it, is like, she's the sure bet to get in the villa because she's not with anyone. So she's the one that all the guys really should be trying to put it on, not trying to sway the ones who are in couples. She's got more. Josh is doing the right thing, whether he's into her or not. If he wants to stay in the villa, she's the one he's got to get with, hasn't he?
Yeah.
She might go out eventually because popularity, no problem. But at the moment, she's the best person you should be trying to get with.
Yeah, 100%. If you are playing it like a tactical game, I don't understand why we haven't seen more, boys trying to chat up Danica, and I think the whole thing, I don't know, it was a bit cheesy, wasn't it? It was like, have you had a kiss before?
Yeah.
And then he has to maneuver himself. It seemed very, very tactical. Nothing seemed authentic to me about that. But, let's see. Like you say, it's almost like a free ticket. It's like going with Hugo last year, isn't it? He's not with anyone. So just give him some attention, get your ticket back into the villa, and then, see what happens from there.
It's true that, Dave. It's true. No, you're right. I mean, what about Thingy Dave? Davide, he's done. He's gone against what I thought he'd do, and I think when he said he didn't care, he's straight in there, isn't he? Even in the dark, he was kissing the Thingy Salmon, the one who's she said to Luca, "My name's Salmon." But he's been a shit as well because I saw people online saying, "Oh, Ekinsu's getting a bit of her own medicine and all this," and it could be the whole love thing. He comes in, they get back together, they win it, everyone goes all happy. But I don't know with this. So, I know that we've had all this, the radar joking and all that stuff over the last week or so, and obviously Joe's great song, but he's not paying himself in glory at all, is he? At the end of the day, Ekinsu's done nothing yet. So it's not like it's reversed.
That's because they're not in a real couple, Chris, and the radar prediction is flawed. It is null and void.
Fuck you, Dave.
He has never actually been in. And like I say, I did admit defeat an episode or 2 ago. I'm now having to question that because Ekinsu was going full on. She was basically wanking off his middle finger back in, when they were by the pool. And then they have a bit of a moment in the pool and stuff. But then I think he's just never really been in. And some of the things that he was saying about, what she's done, I go back to my original thought on it, that he's just never going to forget that. He's never going to get past that. And so, he does have chemistry. He does have an attraction towards her. But he's not suddenly going to become the loyal kind of boyfriend, even though we have this ridiculous thing with Love Island, don't we, where, well, they haven't technically said boyfriend and girlfriend, so therefore they are single. It'll never make sense to me, that. But yeah, I don't see it that he's behaving badly. I just see it that he's not really into Ekin-Su.
Well, that is a fucking disgrace, Dave. An absolute disgrace.
But you could say as well, it could be a little bit like the Andrew thing to a lesser extent, where it's a bit of a revenge snog. It's like, well,
yeah,
it's 1-0 to Ekin-Su right now because, when we were paired up, Ekin-Su snogged Jay. So therefore, I need to even the score kind of thing. So I have to have a little kiss as well. Could be that.
I mean, that is, and you're right. And as they say, two wrongs don't always make a right, Dave.
Yeah.
I do think just the last thing I wanted to say actually about Andrew was it's pretty obvious, the guys don't like Tasha at all, do they? They really, whatever, it's really apparent for me. Like, whatever we've said about her, I don't think it's a good look for the guys at all. Like, what they were doing there and the way, and there's obviously stuff going on now, discussions we've not seen as, like, viewers, but it was really fucking snidey and snipey tonight. It was like, no, that's not good fucking tennis, that. Whatever we think of her and what we called her out, it's like, that's not right. Well, I suppose if she does get with someone, it'll be justified and everyone goes home happy. She gets with someone and he gets with someone. But I think you're right. I think he may potentially, he snogged her, he might end up bottling it and then coming back to her, and then she's already with someone. So that'd be great TV again, though, Dave. Let's be honest. That would be great Love Island drama.
I honestly think it's going to be really hard. So given Andrew's personality and the fact that pretty much all the boys around him are peer pressuring him into coupling up or doing stuff with someone else in Casa Amor, I think it would take an iron will for him to go back on his own. I think he's much more likely to go in with someone because he's just relentlessly hearing this same message from the boys all the time about Tasha. And like you say, it made me a bit uncomfortable when the way they were celebrating. And I think you'd messaged just to say, they clearly don't like Tasha. And I was like, yeah, I do think that, I said about her behavior, it looks to me like it's just a bit of immaturity more than anything else. And I felt sorry for her at that point. I agree. I don't think it was a good look.
No, I don't think so. And I think when we were watching, Dave, I've got to say, I've got a rather angry wife sat next to me because she's like, when we were watching, she's going, for fuck's sake, raunchy game, great. Let's go against Casa Amor. Let's do the same games. What is the matter? And she was proper on one tonight, Dave. I was like, I agree, but I was getting scared, Dave, as well. Because I thought, if I disagree with her, I might get a backhander. But again, the games, and Sam was right, and I know that she wasn't the only one. There's a lot of people said it on our Facebook and the disco stuff it's like, it's so predictable, isn't it? Like, why? I know sometimes they say, why change a good format? I don't think these are the way to go at it. Let's do sex positions, yawn, fucking wow. Let's do this. Snog the person who's, the one you like the most. Snog the person like the Davide one underwater and all this thing. And it's like, we've seen all this. You know what I mean? Like, it's this. I know the drama's been fantastic, but bring something else to the party. Do something different. Because it's the same stuff all the time, isn't it?
See, for me, I just have to get past the game. I don't care for that game, but I do appreciate the drama it creates. I think the thing is, they know from previous seasons now which questions or which challenges hit the most. So, it's like shortest guy in the villa, and the girls know who that is. So if they lose the challenge, it's like a double whammy, isn't it? They've lost the challenge and it's the person they're coupled up with. A couple of times Gemma's like, oh, that's Luca. Oh, it's Luca again. Come on. So I enjoy it for that, to be honest. I'm going to give it a pass. Not like a hard pass, but, I'm going to let it off the hook. I think it's a necessary evil to go through that same rigmarole to, it becomes a fertile breeding ground then for drama, doesn't it?
Great words, Dave. Fucking great words. I'm not even going to even try and contemplate speaking to you about that. I agree. So I'm going with you.
I should do a whole David Attenborough on Love Island.
Right, Dave, we've had 2 emails today, 2 great emails as well. But our great friend Denise, Casa Amor shook me. Who knew I would back Luke and Gemma for the win? When did opting to not act like a dog in heat become synonymous with being fake? Without a doubt, Dammy and those boys were angry and they decided not to betray Gemma. And even if his aim is to win, I'm trying to sort out why that is that bad. The cheap shots Dammy was making was out of line because clearly Gemma is fine with Lucas smothering. We can all see that if she didn't like his treatment of her, she'd squash it. Davide's stock in this game took a nosedive. I don't get Twitter's response as it's karma for Ekin Sue. Since they agreed to put it in the past, kissing multiple girls as payback is clearly a sign he was always going to hold the balcony kiss against her. So why look for her to regain his trust? Dammy watched Liam last year and figured he could do the same, and India will forgive him. India won't tolerate that. Sorry for this being so long. It was so much going on, Denise. So a cracking email that day.
That is brilliant. And again, a slightly different opinion to what I have with Dammy. But I think I've got a bias because I just don't like Luca. Again, the personality type, I've just known people like him and, they're not nice people. But interesting point about Dammy watching Liam, because that is the X factor, if you like, isn't it? That's the dimension that we don't see what's going on in people's heads and looking at previous seasons and seeing what's happened there and trying to mimic that. Like I say, it was last season when they were talking about, you've got to be tested, and maybe Dammy's thinking, well, I've got to let something happen because the voting public, they don't like it if you just don't have any challenges at all. So maybe he's actually meaning you have to be tested or else people think you're boring. And he's got a point. So, who knows where that's going to go.
Yeah, that's true. And we've had a good email from Jason as well, Dave. This is a good one. Quick comment on Paige. I don't understand the negative responses you had on Paige and her reaction when Antigone was eliminated from the villa. How exactly was she being mean? There's no rule that says everyone has to love and like each other within the villa. It's human nature and the reality that not everyone will get along. I think all that scene showed is that Paige grew very close to Antigone and was gutted that she was leaving while they clearly wasn't a bond there with Danica. And to be fair, Danica came in claiming she was step on toes, wasn't there for a holiday friendship or seasonal friends. Whatever the code phrase is this year, and she has behaved accordingly and no one in that villa really likes her. They just tolerate her or feel sorry for her, which is why she's still there. Anyways, I think Paige was having a normal shock reaction to a close friend leaving over a girl who's just been there and did nothing except chase men who have expressed literally zero interest in her. Anyway, it's just my thoughts. So a completely different take, really, Dave, on what we both said. I've got no problem with that at all. I just saw it the other way, that there's a bit of a mask dropping with Paige, I think, at the moment. There's been a few times he's been a bit snipey. So I saw it as being sniping. And like they were trying to rig the game like we've seen in the past with people, like you always say, I think it's the best line you've ever said. It's not fucking Friendship Island. You know what I mean? It's fucking Love Island.
I love how you keep attributing that to me. And I'm sure I said it, but I don't think I came up with it.
Look, just take it. Take the compliment, Dave.
So I think for me it was more of a continuation of what had happened before, when she was a bit kind of snotty about when Danica and India came over. I think as well, didn't it come out an episode or two later where apparently Antigone had said, she's waiting for someone to come in, and it's like, well, if you're having to make a choice of two people and one person's like sat having a lovely time but waiting for someone else to come in who isn't there, and you're like, well, you've got people who are single here, you could try harder there, and Danica's trying hard but she's just not getting anywhere, then there is only one choice there.
Yeah, that's true. And it's the whole point of the discussion. But great email, Jason. Really good. Thank you for sending them in, mate.
It's always great, isn't it? When we get this these conflicts and this drama, and people seeing it in different ways. This is what I love about this show.
Yeah, I do. Even we're not always right. I know we'll put ourselves out there, but we don't always get it right, do we? It's just what we see.
Not right.
Yeah, most often. But this Dave, that very nicely segues me into something I need to. We need to just slightly not address, but just talk about it. If everyone give us a couple of minutes on their Facebook page, Kristen Day's Reality TV Cast. Charlene polices it like we do as well, Dave. But Charlene, is brilliant over there, and we've just had a few posts and a few people reach out to us because we watched the show live. And I know I posted about this on the page, Facebook page. We watch it live in the UK, and it's 9 p.m. over here. And some people watch it through VPNs or some, but a lot of people are catching it after us because it either doesn't show in their area till later on, or they can't catch the show because obviously we have the link through Daily Motion. We're just trying to work out a way, because a lot of the time when we're all posting, we're all excited about what's going on the page. And I've done this quite a few times, so I can't say anything. I know I'm as responsible as anyone for doing this. Charlene creates a spoiler thread for each episode. Is there any way, can everyone please post in there if you've got anything? Even down to like the first look. I think there's been a few issues where thumbnails from videos from YouTube, it sort of shows what's happening, even though people have addressed it saying spoiler thread. You can still see it. And I think what we should do, if you're going to post something like that with the first look, put spoiler thread, this is the first look, and then post a video in the first comment. So people who are scrolling Facebook wouldn't see it. It's just so it's fair for everyone. I don't want anyone being pissed off, and I don't want to ruin everyone's fun, because like I say, we're all love the show. It's just, I think a lot of people are just like, they're seeing stuff they don't want to see until they watch an episode. And I also know there has to be a cut-off at that point. We can't hide stuff all the time, because every episode's like sort of newspaper. It's a chip shop newspaper the next day in it, because you go into the next episode. So it's difficult to know where the cut-off is. But we're just trying to do it so it's fair for everyone, guys. So please don't think we're digging out or having a go at anyone. We're just doing it, and I've called myself out for that. Does that make sense, Dave?
Yeah, no, it's fair. And like I say, we've done it, and it's only after you sort of think, oh shit, Yeah. But I think a day is definitely, if we can get it into that spoiler thread for each episode, I think that's great.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, well said.
No, thank you guys as well. We do love all the support, and it's great on Facebook. So I just want it to be totally open for everyone. Everyone enjoys it. If you want to follow us, guys, if you want to support us a bit more, go over to patreon.com/CD RealityCast. And we appreciate everyone who supports us over there, past and present. If you want to email us, cdrealitycast@gmail.com. And if you want to follow us on social media, @CDRealityCast. And a big thank you to everyone who's got over to the merchandise stores, the US and UK. The Australian one will be going live, guys. I'm sorting that out for the next. I was trying to sort it today, but a few things came up at home, so I couldn't do that. But we will get sorted out pretty quick with the next day or so as well. So please bear with us, or bear with me. And it's been amazing. So thank you, guys. And we want to see them T-shirts as well, because they're brilliant. And at the moment, Dave, I can't buy one because they haven't got extra large. And I'm not happy, Dave. I'm not happy. So anyway, big thank you, guys, as always. Anyway, today's roll call of honour is Gavin, Maggie, Kristen, Zoe, Tom, Gillian, Michelle, Keith, Helen, Brianna, Neve, Noreen, Amy, Joanna, Helen, Libby, Dee Dee, Priscilla, Susan, Hennessy, Hayley, Lauren, Lucky Lily Green, and Ken Gustafson. So thank you so much, guys, for all your support. So humbling. And mate, what a brilliant episode and a great discussion again.
It's great. And you know what? I can't wait for tomorrow now. I can't wait for the next episode. I'm wishing away the whole day. But I just can't wait for the fallout of this. And I mean, Casa Amor, it's always quicker than you think it's going to be. So there's not much time now. I mean, what do you reckon? We'll go back into the villa, I imagine, by Friday, I would have thought. So
I thought Friday, yeah.
Yeah, plenty of stuff to happen in between now and then.
Brilliant, mate. Absolutely class, mate. Anyway, Dave, thank you, and I will see you tomorrow.
Thank you very much, sir, and thanks to everyone for listening. We'll speak to you next time.
Bye.